Hurry! Go safely, California, from the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Shout out to Major League Baseball for showing some major love to the Negro Leagues. During the National Association of Black Journalists Convention Thursday in Birmingham, Alabama, MLB announced that they are scheduling a regular season game in 2024 at Rickwood Field in Birmingham. Rickwood is where the legendary Birmingham Black Barons played in the Negro Leagues in the 40s and 50s before integration. Willie Mays and Satchel Paige played for the Barons before they got a chance to play in the majors. The San Francisco Giants and St. Louis Cardinals will play at Rickwood next season on June 20th. MLB is using the game as a tribute to the many Negro League players who showed their talents at Rickwood but never got a chance to play in the big leagues. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
Boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
You used to call me on my. You used to. Yeah. You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. And I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. Ever since I left the city, you got a reputation for yourself, God. Everybody knows and I feel left out. Girl, you got me down, you got me stressed out. Cause ever since I left the city, you started wearing less and going out more. Glasses of champagne out on the dance floor. Hanging with some girls I never seen before. You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. Ever since I left the city, you and me, we just don't get along. You made me feel like I did you wrong. Going places where you don't belong. Ever since I left the city, you got exactly what you asked for. Running out of pages in your passport. Hanging with some girls I've never seen before. You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love.
You used to call me. What's up? Chris Rose, talk about it. How come you don't call me anymore? 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Hey, you know, you used to. 800-920-1580. Okay, I'm punchy. I haven't had enough sleep. It's Friday. And I have a big event on Sunday. Those of you who pay attention around here know I'm doing a tribute to my mama who made her transition during COVID-19. She did not die from COVID. She had been ill for a long time with a number of different things, including Parkinson's. But anyway, we were blessed to be able to put together something to pay tribute to her. My mom was the poet laureate of San Francisco. She published more than 50 books of poetry. Her poetry was translated into more than 20 different languages. Interestingly enough, my mother was appointed poet laureate of San Francisco by Gavin Newsom when he was the mayor of San Francisco. And she served that position after she left. Tongo Eisenmartin, who you heard this week on Tavis's show, was appointed to be the next poet laureate after my mom, and he'll be performing. This is at the Castro Theater in San Francisco. It's free and open to the public. If you're in the Bay Area or you know people in the Bay Area, please do come. It's Sunday. We're going to start at 2. We're going to have actually 1:45. My brother Alexander, who plays a piano, who's actually produced the opening song that you hear every day on this show, he is doing a jazz set with drums and solo piano, acoustic piano, and we're going to have the screening of the film The Poetry Deal, which is actually about my mama. It's only 27 minutes. That's the whole show starts at 1:45. Then after that, we've got a great lineup of poetry, comedy, song, and reflections, personal reflections, and so many people have contributed to this being a success. So many people that I have to thank. There's an article in the Los Angeles Sentinel about the tribute we're doing, so thank you to the Sentinel for giving my mommy some love. The iconic beat poet and internationally renowned poet in many different movements, Ann Waldman, will be performing. We have a statement from a video statement from my mom's longtime friend and political ally, actor Peter Coyote, the great actor who's been in more than 130 films. Members of the comedy troupe Culture Clash will be there on stage. Indigenous poet Cedar Saigo, who is very well known, but also a very dedicated activist, will be performing, along with Kim Shuck, another indigenous poet who was the poet laureate before my mama. And so many people have donated through GoFundMe. We had a GoFundMe to kind of do the whole pay for the production, and so many of you stepped up on that, and I just want to thank everyone that did, including some of my colleagues here at KBLA 1580, and just all kinds of folks that I did not expect. They will be listed on the program. I'm going to be giving you all shouts out because it's really touching. You know, it's something we decided. My brothers and sisters, Diane di Prima's children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and her late husband just decided we were going to do this. And the literary community has sort of found out about it from the family and come to us. Allen Ginsberg, the Allen Ginsberg Project, the great poet Allen Ginsberg was a friend of my mom and one of my babysitters growing up. He's on Instagram, Allen Ginsberg Official. They stepped up with a little bit of funding to help us get it done. It's just so beautiful, the love, the respect, and people from all over the world, you know, sending $1,000 or $5, contributing flowers or contributing chicken wings, whatever we got. I mean, it's awesome. So I hope that if you're in San Francisco, you'll come. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. And it's a bit of the reason why I am a bit punchy this week is because, I'm tired. Okay, I'm not going to lie. We'll have a video statement from Amber Tamlin, who is one of my mama's students, the actor who's also an author, and many more. I'm forgetting some folks, but not because there's no love lost. And I want to thank Another Planet Entertainment, which curates the Castro Theater. They have stepped up and waived some of the costs of running that massive and historic theater. So I hope that you will be there. Anam Rinpoche, who's a Buddhist Lama. My mom was a devout Buddhist. He will be doing a blessing. It's going to be quite an eclectic and fun kind of tribute. And that will be on her 89th birthday. It would have been her 89th birthday, which is Sunday, from 2 o'clock until 2 p.m. until at the Castro Theater in San Francisco. Let's go to Dwight from the city of Compton. You used to. What's up, Dwight?
Good morning, Dominique. I sent you an email with a little 5-verse poem to honor your mom, Diane di Prima, the poet laureate of San Francisco, and I'm wishing all the best to the event coming up Sunday. I won't be able to attend, but the 5 verses I had was just called This Thing Called Peace from my ebook, The Joyful Noise, on Amazon. And it just says, this thing called peace gives me wings, and away from my troubles I fly, gives me just enough hope to pacify, waits for that unwelcome visitor anger to walk on by. This thing called peace. This thing called peace relieves the stress that lies heavy on my mind, allows me to find life's rhythm and life's rhyme, for a moment slows the rushing pace of time. This thing called peace. This thing called peace is a calm after the fierce battle has been fought. Rest my soul when the next opponent is no longer sought. Comes to me when the elusive prey has been caught. This thing called peace. This thing called peace, when it's not there, I wonder how long it will take to show. Washes my pain away in its warm, sweet flow. Comforts my spirit from head to toe. This thing called peace. This thing called peace tells me to put my words in God's hand. Encourages me to make God's word the rock upon which I stand. Reminds me to weave God's wisdom into my master plan. This thing called peace. This thing called peace. In honor of your loving mom, Dominique, I wish you all the blessings to the event coming up. And I sent this poem to your email with a picture from your dad's event that I attended on Washington.
You were at the Ebony Repertory Theater, a.k.a. the Nate Holden Theater, when we did the event for my dad. Wow, that's
Nate
awesome.
Holden Theater.
Yeah, that was a great day. Tavis was there, remember? Long before I worked with him, Tavis Smiley stepped up and spoke on behalf of my papa, Now, Dwight, you know I couldn't do that big thing for my father and not do something for my mama. What would that look like?
Oh, I know. And it's just blessings to you, KBLA, Miles, Tavis, everyone there at the station. Thank you so much for the love you give us, and I hope we just show a little bit of that love back to you, Dominique.
I'm feeling so much love right now. I'm really actually quite overwhelmed and touched and moved. I just never would have expected so many people to step up in so many ways. And I know it's all about my mom, but we are feeling the love. Her late husband and all of her kids, grandkids, and great-grands were like, wow, look at these virtual hugs. It's incredible. So thank you. Thanks for your poem as well, Dwight. It's all about the words and the wordsmiths right now, and it's the perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580. We've got Lee Saunders coming up a little bit later in the show, and Nana Camille Yarborough, who's an author and an artist. So it's a full Friday around here on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique di Prima when we come forward.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Fun.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCES scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take. And when I looked the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan. Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm not saying I'm a back-to-school shopping expert, but I just went to Kohl's and found looks my kids can wear for picture days, play dates, and every moment in between, all for less. I'm talking jeans for under $20, tees for $6.99, and more. Plus, I got $10 off because I'm a Kohl's Rewards member. So if you want new school styles at old school prices, you know where to go. Select styles. Kohl's Rewards offer ends August 8th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds, every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though?
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it. Together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique di Prima on First Things First.
The conversation does continue. By the way, if you want to come to the tribute and celebration, it's not a funeral, it's a tribute and celebration. Poetry, music, art, all kinds of stuff at the Castro Theater. It's free. You can find out more. Actually, thank you to Tavis Smiley. He posted it on his social media and featured the current poet laureate Tongo Eisen Martin, who's quite amazing. And you can find it on my socials as well, DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA Radio. If you're one of the people that has supported this project, this tribute in another country, another state, another city, we're streaming it. It's on Facebook. At the website is, or the location on Facebook, the page is Diane di Prima Park. Something my brother put up because he's been trying to get a park named in memory of my mom. Diane di Prima Park on Facebook is where we will be streaming the whole thing live. So if you can't come, you can certainly see it virtually. What? Molly Bell from the city of Compton. Must be Friday. Good morning, Queen.
reparations in memory of our ancestors. God bless morning to you, Dominique, KBLA family, delegation, and everybody in the chat room. And I enjoyed our guest, Isaac Bryant. Dominique, I keep up with a lot of stuff. I never even heard of him.
What?
You know,
that surprised me. Okay, well, yeah. This I think it's his third or fourth time on the show, but he's only been there for 2 years in the legislature. Before that, he was an activist.
Well, I know he's been on the show, but I'm talking about like you were talking about foster kids.
Yes,
I would have called in or put it in the chat room during that time. Is that I remember we had a place out here called McLaren Hall.
Yes.
And, there was so much abuse and child molestation, and they closed it down. And I was so glad about that. And I just wanted to say, you always bring on these powerful people that we find out. I guess I'll just add something else that they have done and things that they have worked with that we didn't know. I'm watching the news, and then I just saw another shooting in the Vermont Vista area, 4 people during summer nights. What's in the atmosphere? What is making this happen? I just don't get it. And so I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to say a couple of things. One, TIG. Trump is going to jail. So he's going. But I can't spend my time talking about him, but he is going to jail. And congratulations on what you're doing for your mother. There's nothing like equal love. And this is a good lesson to teach all of us. If we remember our fathers, our mothers, just, keep it going and be strong. I just want to remind the family today that this is the 4th. This is Black August. And for those who don't remember or know what Black August is, Black August is an annual commemoration of a prison-based holiday. And we remember our political prisoners, freedom struggles, those who have fought. And I know a lot of you remember George Jackson and Geronimo G. Jaga Pratt. But then when I looked it up to see if they recognized it in Google, they mentioned Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. I had
for Black August?
Yes, they mentioned it in. Yeah, so for those who know how to, I'm showing off, who know how to Google.
Don't want to show off, Molly Bell. I remember when you were struggling because you didn't even want to connect your computer. Now you on Instagram, Googling stuff, and doing a lot. You got a whole following going on.
Yeah, so look up Black August and Fred Hampton, and let's remember them for this whole month of August. Let's remember our political prisoners. We remember Matula Shakur and Peltier that are still there, and we say their names. And that was all. I'll talk about Trump next time because Trump is going to jail. I've enjoyed watching all of this on TV. I've had things to do, but I've watched it. Do you think he's going to go to jail, or you're not sure yet?
I'm not sure, Molly Bell. I think he will be. I think he's going to be convicted of something. He's got to be convicted of something. You don't have 2 major cases from the Department of Justice and state cases, city cases, and you don't get convicted of anything. I'm wary, though, because I really thought he was going to be convicted in the doggone Trump University situation, and that was a settlement. I think he will be convicted of something. I don't know if he'll go to jail. I feel like the most they would do is give him an ankle bracelet. Like, how do you put a former president in a prison? I could see not even club fed. Like, it would have to be probably home monitoring, because otherwise the Secret Service is going to be sitting up in San Quentin. I don't see that happening. Rikers Island with the president getting visited, maybe, by the First Lady, maybe, because, Melania, she'd be sometimey, and Justin Trudeau getting a divorce, so she might be back up there trying to holler. But I'm just saying, Molly Bell, that I don't think he'll do time. I think he will probably leave all of these cases with at least 1 felony conviction, if not several.
Well, if he don't go to jail, Dominique, then did they take his passport? Because I think he would leave and go to. I do. I think he'll leave and go to Russia.
Can you take the president's passport? And the former president. And I don't know. Does the former president even need a passport? Like, you're the former president of the United States. You think they're going to hassle you at the border? I don't know.
Artificial intelligence. They will probably make you have to show who you are.
Yeah.
But anyway, I still say I think he's going to jail, or he will be shamed, and he will be out of it. Anyway, you've had a great show all this week, and thank you for everything that you're doing. And again, are you going to do one poem on the air today before you go off, so that we could hear those who are not going out?
Well, you guys love to put me on the spot. Okay, well, let me see what I can do. I am not going to be reading at this poetry reading or singing. I will be emceeing, which is what I love to do. So the show, we're going to keep it moving and we're going to have fun, because that's what I like to do when I'm on the mic. But Molly Bell, between you and Regina, you're going to make me, we need to find my mom reading a poem, because she's the master. And I think that's why, I'm able to bless the mic. I got poets on both sides of my lineage. I don't write no poetry, but I sure will take a mic in my hand and talk, and you know that, Molly Bell.
well, Miles can give you some of his music to say. I close by saying, this is Black August.
Yes.
We are remembering Diane di Prima in Black August. All those who have gone, who are warriors, who are fighters, who stand for justice, who stand for love, who stand for righteousness. So in Black August, remember them all, say their names, and all you prayer warriors out there. You know what you've got to do. You've got to keep fasting. You've got to keep praying, because the struggle continues, but always. To God be the glory. Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you, Molly Bell. I really do appreciate you. And it's true. I mean, we talk about the political prisoners with, Mutulu Shakur being released before his death, that being a victory, but him serving way, way too much time. And now Rochelle McGee being recently released. These are things that people who do pay attention to Black August, and many who really take Black August seriously will fast, either all month or intermittently throughout the month. They will study, meaning, read, and they will fight. Those are the commitments of Black August. And by fight, we don't mean, big money. We don't mean, you're part of the Floyd Mayweather entourage. We mean fighting for justice. We mean showing up and showing out, marching, protesting. And so all of those things are what the spirit of Black August is all about. And Molly Bell, certainly you embody that. And I'm pretty sure that if you want to learn more about that, you should check out the podcast from This Is Not a Drill. I believe they're doing something on Black August tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning on their This Is Not a Drill, which happens every Saturday at 8 a.m. on KBLA 1580. I'm caught up in this celebration and tribute to my mama, Diane di Prima. And it's not just because she's my mom. Do like Molly Bell, Google search, and you'll find out both my parents are way more famous and formidable than I am. And my mother, Diane di Prima, certainly deserves these flowers. So I so appreciate you. I'm in a state of gratitude for your help in making that happen. News, traffic, and sports. And then we're talking with Lee Saunders. It is a hot labor summer, and AFSCME, I've got a few things to say about that. He's the president of AFSCME. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
We thank you for sharing a part of your Friday morning with us here on the Black Information Network. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest. Another advanced placement class is off limits in Florida. The College Board announced yesterday that the state is effectively banning AP Psychology because it violates the parental rights in education law. The Florida Department of Education, though, denies the course is being banned. Well, Lizzo says there's nothing to the accusations that she sexually harassed her backup dancers and created a hostile work environment. The African-American singer put out a statement yesterday calling the allegations revealed in a recent lawsuit unbelievable and too outrageous not to be addressed. The suit alleges Lizzo pressured the dancers to touch naked performers during a night out in Amsterdam. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Wendy's BOGO $1 deal is back at participating Wendy's. Buy a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, 10-piece nugs, or medium frosty, and get another for $1. Double your deliciousness. Hurry, this BOGO deal won't last. Life moves fast. Your car shouldn't. Keep neighbors safe. Drive like your friends or family live there. Better slow than sorry. Go safely, California, from the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Shout out to Major League Baseball for showing some major love to the Negro Leagues. During the National Association of Black Journalists Convention Thursday in Birmingham, Alabama, MLB announced that they are scheduling a regular season game in 2024 at Rickwood Field in Birmingham. Rickwood is where the legendary Birmingham Black Barons played in the Negro Leagues in the 40s and 50s before integration. Willie Mays and Satchel Paige played for the Barons before they got a chance to play in the majors. The San Francisco Giants and St. Louis Cardinals will play at Rickwood next season on June 20th. MLB is using the game as a tribute to the many Negro League players who showed their talents at Rickwood but never got a chance to play in the big leagues. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580. Whoa, whoa.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
On a Mission Youth Travel presents the 2023 Morehouse Homecoming HBCU College Tour, October 25th through October 29th in Atlanta, Georgia. Open to high school students grades 9 through 12. For more information, please call 323-298-4779. Again, 323-298-4779. Students will tour Morehouse College, Spelman College, Clark Atlanta University, Alabama State, and Tuskegee University. Email info@onamissionyouthtravel.com. Again, info@onamissionyouthtravel.com. The HBCU tour price includes all meals, transportation, round-trip airfare with one checked bag, hotel accommodation, all museums, college tours, and admission to the Morehouse versus Kentucky State University homecoming football game. Spaces are filling up quickly, so call today to sign up. 323-298-4779. Again, 323-298-4779.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your story. stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Hey, I am Jasmine Carson, LSU Women's Basketball National Champion. I had to up my game, and this time I upped my intimate grooming routine too. Venus for pubic hair and skin is the only razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area. Featuring a razor with a patented irritation defense bar and a skincare regimen that is dermatologist tested, Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Visit GilletteVenus.com to learn more about the full regimen of products.
KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Love wins indeed, and it's my pleasure to introduce on this fine Friday a man who represents 1.4 members of the union and communities across the nation in hundreds of different occupations, from nurses to correction officers, child care providers, sanitation workers, elected at the union's 40th International Convention back in 2012, first African American to serve in the position. He is the president of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Workers, AFL-CIO. Lee Saunders, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I am great. And let me say this, it's 1.4 million members across the country in the public service, and we're happy to be with you this morning on your show.
I don't know what I said. It was probably a brain fade, but yeah, 1.4 million indeed. And we keep talking about how it's a hot labor summer. It seems like everybody's on strike, and you are actually on the road trying to help people get union jobs. So it's interesting. It's an interesting contrast because, you know, I'm a SAG member, and the hotels are on strike, and, you know, it seems like everybody's on strike or at least recently settled, as we saw with the Teamsters and getting their deal. But you're on a mission to add more workers to your ranks and help folks get some living wage jobs.
Well, we're on a mission to fill public service jobs across the country, in California, in Los Angeles, San Diego, in New York, Minnesota, Ohio. Public service jobs are at an all-time low in this country. As a matter of fact, there are close to 1 million job openings across the country in state and local government and public hospitals and things of that nature. And that has a direct impact on our members who provide essential services every single day and the pressures that they face because they don't get the help that they need by having the staff that is necessary to provide those services. But it also has a direct impact on our communities where public services are suffering and are not being provided, whether it's sanitation, whether it's public health care, whether it's transportation, any education, any kind of public service you can imagine is hurting right now because of the problem with vacancies that exist across the country. So we are trying to talk about that. We're working very closely with elected officials across the country who understand the dilemma that we're in, understand the issues and the problems associated with having a workforce that is lower than what it should be. We've got to increase the numbers of folks working in the public service. So we've got to develop a program in working with these officials to attract workers and talk about the importance of public service and say that these are good-paying jobs with good union benefits and good wages, but educate people about the fact that, number one, these jobs are available and how to apply for those jobs.
Right, so we got to talk about that. It's a confusing time in the labor market right now because we hear reports about unemployment being so low, and then I hear corporations and corporate leadership complaining that they have, and even small businesses complaining that they have a hard time finding workers, much like you're saying that many of these sectors are understaffed. But at the same time, I feel like I personally, anecdotally, know tons of people that are looking for jobs, and so many people who are working non-union, minimum wage jobs that have to work 2 or 3 of those jobs just to keep the lights on. What's the disconnect? What am I missing in this formula, Lee Saunders?
Well, I think it's an education process, and I think that we've got to be very aggressive in talking about the fact that there are jobs available, good jobs, good paying jobs with good benefits. We've got to go to high schools, for example, I believe, and talk to students who are ready to graduate and educate them about what's going on in the public sector. We've got to have job fairs across the country, attracting people to the public service. I believe that we've got to do a variety of things in working with our allies and friends to make sure that people understand that there are good jobs that are available. We've just got to get them to apply and understand what that process is. And that's a major point that we're trying to convey across the country and with this bus tour. And we've actually got a bus that started on the East Coast, and it's headed your way. And as a matter of fact,
tomorrow, right?
It's going to be in Los Angeles tomorrow, where we're going to have listening sessions, and we're going to have a press conference. Some elected officials are there. I don't believe that the mayor is going to be there. She's a good friend, but she is into this program. She supports it 100%. And we're going to try to educate those in Los Angeles and really concentrate on our communities and the minority community, saying, look, these jobs are available, and these are good jobs, and here's what you need to do as far as applying for these jobs and ultimately getting these jobs and performing essential public services in the city of Los Angeles and across the country.
Yeah, you mentioned Mayor Karen Bass. She's always talking about all of these vacant jobs in City Hall, public sector jobs that are just sitting there vacant. And I get that, and but what is the gap? You're staffing the front lines. That's the name of your tour. So you're going city to city to city, trying to get people, Rochester, Lansing, Minneapolis. I think we're next here in Los Angeles. Yes, we are tomorrow. What are we missing, especially as African Americans and BIPOC people? Are we not qualified somehow? Are there special, certifications that we need for these jobs? Like, how do we access these jobs, and how can we be better prepared?
Well, first of all, let me just throw out some facts to you. In Los Angeles alone, okay, there's a 20% vacancy rate in the city of Los Angeles for city jobs. 20%. And the mayor knows that, and she's trying to work on that with us. And it's all about, number one, educating the public, saying that these jobs are available. We have, across the country, governors and mayors actually doing PSAs, saying that these jobs are here. Come in and apply. And we'll help you as far as training, as far as education, as far as walking you through the civil service process so you have a chance at getting these kinds of jobs. So we're doing that all across the country. We want to set up within AFSCME a job training and development center where we go through this process and our affiliates go through this process as far as identifying, helping people in the communities understand that there are job openings with these public service jobs and how to apply, what they need to have, provide the necessary training and apprenticeship programs so they are prepared to enter the workforce. And I think it's a problem across the country, and we've got to deal with it in a full-pronged approach as far as identifying the need, but also providing the apprenticeship programs, educating folks, going to those high schools, having job fairs to make sure that people understand that these jobs are available and what they need to do to get them.
Yeah, is part of it the pandemic? I know you're talking about staffing the front lines, and a lot of people that were and are on the front lines got burnt out and just overtaxed during the height of the pandemic. Is that part of what you're battling?
Yes, especially in the public sector, in the public service. We had folks who just were completely burned out, Dominique, burned out, where they were working overtime. We even had people move into work sites Okay, where if they worked in a behavioral health setting or things of that nature, where they would leave their homes so they could be with the people that they served, and they did this constantly throughout the pandemic, and our members were there. We call them everyday heroes because they provided those essential public services while the country was sick, and so many members and many public service workers said, we can't do this again, especially with the fact that you still have all of these openings and vacancies that exist. So we've lost people that way. We've lost folks, and we've got to pick up our energy levels, and we've got to figure out ways to attract them and bring new people and new blood into the system, and that's exactly what we're trying to do.
We're talking with AFSCME President Lee Saunders. They are on a Staffing the Front Lines bus tour coming to San Diego and Los Angeles. We'll give you more information about how you can get involved if you're looking for a job, and that's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique di Prima when we come forward.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's free application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with a quick recap from my time at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. There were speakers Ian Dunlap, Damon John, Lynn Richardson, MC Light, Don Kennedy, to name a few. Take a listen to what Justin Grant, Community Development Lead at Chase's Advancing Black Pathway, let's see what he had to say.
So I'm Justin Grant. I lead Community Development and National Partnerships for JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathway strategy. And so we're focused on strengthening the economic foundation of black communities, and we're making targeted investments in programs like the Advancing Black Wealth Tour to help us get our tools and resources out to the community to drive sustained impact over time.
So when it comes to black and brown people, it sounds like Chase is making it their personal responsibility not only to facilitate these events, but to educate and provide resources. So, Mr. Grant, I have to ask, what does wealth building look like for the individual?
It's home ownership, it's having that freedom to be able to start your own business and create jobs in your community, and it's having that long-term plan towards retirement, having that vision for what you want your life to be, and you have the resources to actually live it.
I'm Maisha Cairo. Thanks for sticking around. That was my recap from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. First stop was here in LA, and they're taking it national.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Their ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique di Prima right now.
Right now, we're talking with AFSCME President Lee Saunders. And, you know, I have this theory. I wonder what you think about this theory. I know that a couple of years back, we started to hear conservatives making more attacks on public sector employees. And, you know, more, of course, that's kind of a key component for certain conservatives is reducing government in general, except, you know, that's a whole other conversation, except in certain situations where they want it. But for my theory is that when they start attacking public service workers, it's almost like code for BIPOC people and Black people, because a lot of Black and Latino people have moved into the middle class historically through union public sector jobs.
There's no question about that, and I can give you a personal experience. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I grew up there a long time ago, and my dad was a city bus driver, but he had a good union job with decent wages and benefits, and it really moved us into the middle class, and he was able to provide for his family, provide for his wife and my brother and me, my mother, and he was also able to send me through school on that salary. He had to borrow a little bit of money, but I mean that's what happened.
Yeah.
I mean that's what happened then, and it happens to every African American family where people are struggling, but public service jobs are the entry into the middle class, especially when those jobs are union jobs, and those jobs are being they're being attacked by certain people across the country and trying to privatize so they don't have to pay as much, so the benefits are less, right, so the wages are less, and that's going to have a direct impact on the ability for families and families of color to move into the middle class by having these quality public service jobs and meaningful jobs, serving the community, providing essential services every single day. So we've got to battle that. We've got to fight that. And we have done it successfully, but it's a continuing problem. And that's one of the reasons why we want to promote the importance of public service and the kinds of jobs that exist. People sometimes just take advantage of the fact that they have clean water to drink, okay, or that the potholes are filled with, by public sector workers, or that your unemployment insurance is provided in a timely way. I mean, people kind of take for granted that this is work being performed by public service workers, and that work is being hit pretty hard because of the vacancies that exist and the fact that these jobs are not being filled the way that they should be. And it's a whole education process. And it directly, and you're right, it directly impacts on the Black community. I mean, it's my experience and other experiences all across the country where Black families were able to move into the middle class because they had good union jobs, both in the private and public sector.
Yeah, I mean, my family has the same story. My grandfather was a postal worker, a letter carrier, and that allowed him to pay for an education for my dad, and what goes on to become, Amiri Baraka, an award-winning writer and activist. But what is the launching pad for that? It's being able to provide for your family so those folks can get that education and get lifted out of poverty, from Pullman porters to AFSCME. We have a long tradition of lifting ourselves up when we're union strong. Do you think, I'll ask you to address this when we come forward. Do you think there is momentum? Is the labor movement in general growing again, even in the midst of the polarized political climate that we are in? We're talking with AFSCME President Lee Saunders, and you're listening to KBLA, Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SavedByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SavedByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SavedByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Extreme heat increases your risk of heat illness and death. Warning signs of heat exhaustion include muscle cramps, headache, and nausea. Signs of heat stroke include a fever of 103 or higher, confusion, and loss of consciousness. Protect yourself by limiting time spent outdoors, staying hydrated, and staying cool in air-conditioned spaces. Learn how to stay safer from extreme heat at heatreadyca.com. Brought to you by the state of California.
Find a righteous rage, and don't be afraid to say what you see. For KBLA Talk 1580.
We are talking with Lee Saunders, the president of AFSCME, He's on the road. He's on the road, staffing the front lines is the name of their bus tour, coming to San Diego, coming to Los Angeles tomorrow. Lee Saunders, where in Los Angeles can we find you if we're interested in standing with you or interested in learning more about getting some of these jobs?
Okay, well, the event will be taking place on August 5th, which is tomorrow, and it's in collaboration with the City of Los Angeles, so there'll be elected officials and community allies there. And we'll be holding a staff to frontlines hiring event, talking about filling good union jobs with talented workers. And the event will be held from 11 o'clock a.m. to 2 p.m. at the LA Federation Building at 2130 West James M. Wood Boulevard. That will be in Los Angeles.
Right, that's downtown at the LA Federation of Labor Building, yes. Downtown LA. 11 to 2 tomorrow. So that's a great opportunity for people. What's the public policy part of this, right? We do have to educate the public. We gotta tell a friend, and certainly you guys are doing your part by hitting the road. But what part are lawmakers meant to do?
Well, they've got to support the efforts and to get out and help us and educate people who elect them about what we're trying to do and the importance of public service and what this means to our communities in Los Angeles and San Diego and across the country. And we've got to talk about the importance of public services every single day and the fact that we need qualified, talented people who are willing to involve themselves in public services and work in the public service area to provide those kinds of services. And so it's a major education campaign. We talk about, and we've talked about it on this call, the fact that these are good jobs with good benefits, good wages, and we've just got to continue to promote it. And this has an impact on, number one, hiring people within our communities, but secondly, improving the quality of services in communities across the country.
AFSCME.org, AFSCME.org. Is there momentum, Lee Saunders? Is the labor movement on the march?
We are. Make no mistake about it. We are organizing like never before, both in the public and private sectors. We have the opportunity to do more because 70% of the American public believes that unions are absolutely necessary and having a strong union in the fabric of this country. And so we're taking advantage of that. But one thing that holds us up, and I want to be very, very honest about it, while we're organizing workers and we're having success in doing that, we've got to change the labor laws in this country because the employer can stall, they can harm workers by firing them. We see this happening in Starbucks and other companies across the country. When people are trying to organize, we see them stalling where you can't get a first contract. They're willing to spend millions of dollars trying to hold unions out of the workplace rather than giving that money to workers who are providing those services every single day.
Well, Lee Saunders, we'll have to come back, and you'll have to come back and join me and do a whole other show on that. But thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
News, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
We thank you for sharing a part of your Friday morning with us here on the Black Information Network. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest. Another advanced placement class is off limits in Florida. The College Board announced yesterday that the state is effectively banning AP psychology because it violates the